Does lifting weights help with fat loss? And how does the Lord want us to gain our strength? Let's look to His Word. The scripture for this morning is Psalm 119 and 28. My soul melts away for sorrow. Strengthen me according to your word. While we're on this weight loss and fat loss journey, let's talk about things that we can do to give this little journey a little boost. So in the last video, we talked about, I am getting so excited about the meats and bones. I don't know if that's the right word, but anyway. So let's get into the nitty gritty and things that I think are going to really help speed along that weight loss, that fat loss. Actually, this will change the entire look of your body. And that's what I get so excited about. For years, I have worked out, running, doing the little cardio classes at the gym. And then eventually, when I did the cardio classes, I was wanting to, first I wanted to define my muscle and or just kind of get a little stronger in the gym. But then as that progressed, I sat there and thought, well, I want to actually build more muscle and get stronger. And that's when I finally learned how to weight lift appropriately. I did do a lot of my own research and studying and just learning how to do different things better. And because I have so much limited time now than when I did back then, when I was working out 6 days a week at the gym, it was 5 minutes away. It was easy to do that. Now I'm trying to figure out what are the least amount of exercises that I can do that's going to make me stronger and give me more defined muscles, which is actually going to shape your body per se. There was a time in my life, I don't know that I really want to put this, I don't know that I want to put this into my weight training, I guess my goals now today. But at one point I thought if I could really just learn how to build muscle like somebody would going into a bodybuilding competition, just get, focused on building muscle and literally changing the shape of your body. I mean, you can't change the structure. You can't change your bones, your skeletal muscle, your organs and fibers and tissues and all of these things. Pretty much the only thing that we have control over is losing the fat, the extra fat, let's say. There is always kind of that bottom threshold of fat that we should be carrying as men and women. Women obviously need a little more fat on their bodies for their childbearing years. This is something that when I finally learned how to do it and what I need to be doing and like getting kind of geared up and, where should my goals be? How do I want to do this? How do I accomplish this? What is that going to look like in the end? That's where when I did the research and actually did the work and did my workouts, it was amazing, the body transformation. And, honestly, it wasn't too subtle. I mean, I definitely could see the muscle. I still had a fairly thick, layer of fat. So you could see muscle, but it definitely didn't have the cut that like you would need for a bodybuilding competition. So when I started looking into fat loss and just weight loss in general and just getting ideas of what are the things that I could do, a lot of the things I did initially were like a little half-hour cardio session or, workout with me video. When I realized how many calories I was burning from lifting weights versus just doing cardio, that gave me more fuel to say, I need to get weight training. And it just, I don't know what it did to my brain. It was just this, like, you get laser focused. Okay, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to get started because I want to be the best version of me. When I finally got on track with my working out and tracking my calories and my food and watching the weight go down and the muscle, the strength, I think that was like the biggest pivotal point in my mind. I was like, it was empowering, invigorating. I don't know how else to say it, but when I started getting stronger and was able to lift a big case of paper and not just one or two reams, I could lift the whole thing, or those big 5 gallon buckets of water, or jugs, whatever they call them. It was just, it was awesome to be able to say, oh, I can do this by myself, and I don't have to, call the guys, at the other end of the office when I was working in office to do that. And there was just, I don't know, there was something in me that just made me feel more self-sufficient, more strong, more confident. It was awesome. I don't know where this comes from, but a woman, she thinks if she lifts over a 5 or 10 pound dumbbell, that somehow she's going to get those huge, 20-inch or 30-inch, biceps that a man would get. And I'm like, no. I mean, most men don't get that big. The huge guys are obviously on steroids, okay? And, we kind of all know this. So, but it was interesting in my research from a long time ago. I never realized that testosterone is a huge part of muscle growth for men and for women. Since men have so much more testosterone than we do, women typically are never going to get big like a man. I mean, I got up to probably, I think 150 pounds was my heaviest squat weight back in the day. My legs were smaller then than they are now. So now I've got probably a good inch or two of fat that I need to lose on my legs. But getting back to how lifting weights is going to help us with our fat loss. So just the movement of lifting the weights in themselves, it's a workout. You're burning calories. You can burn at least as many calories working out with weights, especially if you're doing the big compound lifts. So the squats, the deadlifts, the bench press, the overhead press, all of those movements, that they call them compound movements because you're moving several muscles and joints all at the same time. When you're doing a squat, you've got the bar on your back, you're hinging at your hip, you're hinging at your knees. So all of these pieces and parts of your body, and you've got to stabilize that core. You always, pretty much everything you do, you stabilize that core. Again, looking at those compound movements, you burn so many calories. And as you increase muscle in your body, that actually increases your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. And that actually means you burn more calories just sitting, sleeping, eating, breathing, everything, just to stay alive without even having additional movement. So it's better for you to have that additional muscle on your body. Not all of the exercises, but definitely those compound lifts, everything that takes a lot of effort, those moves are going to actually help you to burn more calories. And some of mine, I would have to take a rest, not because my legs were tired in between my 10 or 15 set of my squats. My heart rate would just get so high. And it's like, I gotta take a break. I can't breathe. I feel like I'm gonna pass out or something. So it's like, that was my cardio for a while there. And I know it was funny. We used to do our ab workout as our warm up, because I mean, that would get my heart rate pumping too. And eventually I'm gonna kind of run through the workouts that I used to do. I do some of it now, not all of it. Most of it's the same. And I'm just a big stickler on the basics. I don't want to do these newfangled, standing on one hand and, your weight's over here and you're doing cartwheels and flip-flops. I don't want to do all that. I just want to get in, do my 3 or 5 basic movements for each, body part, muscle group, get in, get out, get done. I do my weights first, cardio always second, because you need that energy for your weights in the beginning. But I want to get in, get her done, and get out of there. I love the fact that really you can use your weightlifting session almost as a cardio session. Another thing I wanted to say, talking about those compound movements, you need to think about a full range of motion when you are executing that move. So, when you're in your squat, you want to be want to be straight up in your standing position, supporting your body. Keep that core tight and aligned. And when you go down, you want to go down as far as you can. Another thing that I wanted to talk about getting into the weightlifting and increasing muscle mass is those muscles build your bone density. That muscle not only increases your bone density, but that muscle in itself actually helps to protect your bone. The last thing I wanted to bring up with this is when you build muscle, you actually can do a body recomposition. You can, and that's kind of where I'm going to be, I believe. So I am trying to build muscle while losing fat. So I don't want to worry quite as much about what that number is on the scale. I just want to know whether I'm moving in the right direction. So that's going to be, I will know if I'm losing fat per se, if I am decreasing in those inches. So that's why it's important. I'm only doing my measurements about once a month. So I did want to let you know there were 2 studies that I looked at, and I've linked those down in the description below. One was body composition changes after weight loss. So that I just thought was so interesting about, how it really affects everything. And I think that one was done, it was a 3-year follow-up study. So that was interesting too. But a lot of it just boils down to what you eat. And once you get into a weight training program, stay consistent. The other study that I looked at was getting into that bone density and how your increased muscle increases that bone density and helps protect you against the osteoporosis. So I've got those studies linked in the description below. So our comment question is, what's stopping you from starting your weight training program today? So I wanted to thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you stopping by. If you have not already subscribed, please do so. And let me know in the comments below what you liked about the video, what you didn't like. I will take any constructive criticism as long as we all be kind to each other. I'm still new at this and just trying to figure out what is the best information that you guys want to see. This is my passion. This is my love. I ramble. Obviously, I get way off track. So I would really like to know, what do you guys want to see? What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? And give me ideas of what you want to see so that I can make these videos better so that you enjoy watching it even more so than you already do now. Next video up and coming, we're going to go through the weightlifting basics because I know we've all got to get started somewhere. So again, thanks so much for watching. And until then, we'll see you next time.